Hello everyone, let's start with the today's topic of the video, that is file handling in C++. So basically we are going to study how we are going to handle files in C++. Okay, handling files mean basically reading a file or writing a file or updating a file and all of that sort of things. Okay, first of all we have to know that we have to include this F stream. F stream is nothing but file stream header. This header file, in order to use three classes that can be of our use. Three classes are basically OF stream, then IF stream, and then the third one is simply F stream. Okay, and as the name suggests, this is for output, this is for input, and this is for both input and output. Okay, so these three classes we are going to use, and those classes are defined in the file header file F stream. So first of all, if we want to do file handling using our C++ program, so we will have to include this F stream header file in our program. Okay, now let's start with opening a file. Opening a file. Okay, so how do we open a file? So basically we can use a function that is already been provided, that is open. This open function is in all three of these classes, OF stream, IF stream, and F stream. And what we have to do, we just have to call this function with file name. We just have a file name here, that which file are we actually going to open, and then in the iOS namespace we have to tell the open mode. So basically this is we have to tell what mode it is, what mode we are basically opening in. Let us discuss this call. Basically the first part is basically the file name along with the format of which file we are accessing. We give the full address of file name that we are opening. Okay, along with extension as well. Okay, so basically we give this as our file name, and then in this we give in which mode we are going to open. We have several modes, like we can open in mode. In mode is basically only for reading, that is only for input. Okay, and then we have out mode. Out mode is only for writing. And then we have binary mode. Binary mode is to work on binary files instead of text. Work on binary files. Okay, then we also have more modes like ATE and APP, and we also have TRUNC. This ATE and APP are very similar in terms of usage. ATE means at the end. When we use at the end, whenever we read a file, the end of the file is marked, and then whenever we write something, it writes just after that end of the file. So if we write 5 lines, 5 different lines would start writing from that same end. But in APP, it means append, and every time we write something in a file, it changes the end position. So if we write 5 sentences 5 times in a file using APP, then each sentence will come one after the other, because after writing one sentence, a new end will be updated, and that is not true in ATE. Alright. And then we have this truncate. In this truncate, when we insert anything new to our file, we just delete whatever has already been existing in that file. Okay, so these are basic modes that we use during our file handling. Okay, let me tell you, if we use this OF stream, then the default mode is, as I told, iOS out. For this, it is input, iOS in. And for this, it is both. So both is like iOS in or iOS out. So that means we are going to do both. Remember, we are using or to tell that we can either do in and out. So basically we are saying that we have both possibilities of doing. And this way we can combine more open modes here. Instead of putting just one open mode, we can add more open modes, like we can do out and then trunk. This will tell that we are opening the file to write. And then when we write the file, remember that whenever you write anything new, delete the old things. Okay, so out and trunk can be combined like this. Okay, so that is all about how to open our file. Okay, now let's see how can we actually write our file. How can we work on our file? Let's see a sample example program and understand line by line how we are actually writing in our file. So this right here is the code. Now let's understand how we are doing this. Okay, so we have this IO stream first of all included and F stream included. So we are going to use them as accordingly. Okay, and then we did the using namespace std. These things are already explained in the first video where we explained about hello world program. Okay, now let's start what we are doing, file reading specific. So first of all, we are having an object fout of class of stream. Okay, of stream is basically output stream, and by default the mode is out. I've already told this, right? And we have a string line. So that is the line that we are going to basically input and output. Okay, so now let's see. We have, first of all, we open our file, and as I told, this open is also present in off stream class. So we do fout.open, and then we just give the name. Now you might ask that why are we not giving this iOS app or iOS open another thing, any open mode? We have already discussed that the default open mode is iOS out. So even if we do not write any open mode, it is going to use this open mode in itself. Okay, and if we want to append the content, then we can just add this open mode in the end. Okay, and now we are going to execute a while loop if we have successfully opened the file. So we are going to enter in this while loop only if we have successfully opened the file. So if fout is not null, only then we'll enter in this while loop. Okay, and then after that we are going to use this getLine function to take input from standard input c in standard input, and we are going to store that in line. So this getLine function is used to take input of a complete line. Basically, if we directly did c in line, that would take input of only one word, not a complete line, right? So we use this getLine function to take the complete line as input in cin. Okay, and then if this line is -1, we break. This is just an implementation. So basically we are implementing the code in such a way that if someone inputs -1, we break out of this while loop. Okay, and then if we do not break, that means if this condition is not true, then we directly write in the file. So basically we do fout line. Okay, and then we change the line. All right, so this is basically printing in the line. So using this loop, we are writing in the file, all right, and we are writing in this file using ofstream class, object of ofstream class. Okay, now that we have written sample.txt, let's read it what we have written. Okay, so first of all, we close this fout. So we close the file that we have opened now for writing. Now let's read. So for reading, we use the class ifstream, and we make the object fin of the class ifstream, and then we are going to open fin. So we know that by default the open mode is in mode. So basically if we do not write anything, it's going to take this in mode only. Okay, and after opening the file, what we are going to do, we are going to run a loop until this becomes null. This becomes null means we reach the end of file. End of file is basically we have read all the contents of the file, then only then this fin will become null. Otherwise, one by one we'll get all the line in this fin. So if we have a text file like this, we have certain lines written in it. So first line will come, then after reading, then second line will come, then third line will come, and in the end, when we'll complete all the lines, we'll have null, right? So in the end, we'll get an empty line, and that's when we'll stop this execution of this while loop. Okay, and then while we are inside this loop, we read the line from the file, and we again use the getLine function to read the complete line, and then we print the complete line. All right, and after that we close this file, and then we return 0. So you have seen this is how we basically do file handling and do input and output over certain files in our C++ program. Okay, so that's it for this video. See you in the next one.